In this video, we're going to be working on a simple day and night cycle for you to add to your game. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at this example scene where we made the animated tiles in a previous video. And what we're going to be doing here is we need to create a day and night manager scene and script. So I'm going to put this in my world folder here. So I'm going to create the scene, call it day night manager. And inside of here, we're only going to have one additional node. It's going to be a canvas modulate node. And this is going to be how we're going to add different colors that overlay on top of our scene. We also want to attach a script to this. This script is going to have a lot of code in it, so I'll explain along the way. But let's just give this a class name as our day night manager. And it's fine to extend it 2D. We're going to have one signal, which is the time changed. And we're going to give it the current hour, which is a float, and a time string, which is a string. We're also going to want to have an onReady variable of our canvas modulate, and then we're going to have two export groups. Our first one is going to be for our time settings, and our second one is going to be for our color settings. In the time settings, we're going to have an export variable of our day duration, which is a float, and it's going to be equal to the number of seconds that you want the day to be. So if you wanted a 10-minute day, it would be 600 seconds. I'm going to set it to 15 just so it speeds up really quickly and we can see how the day and night cycle actually works quicker. Then we're going to have an export variable of the start hour, or the starting hour, which is also going to be a float, and I'm going to have it start at 8. We have an export range, which is going to be between 0 and 23. It's going to be our sunrise hour, which is going to be an integer, and I'm going to have it be at 6. Another export range, which is 0 to 23. And it's going to be our sunset hour, which for me, I'm going to be choosing 19, so it would be 7 o'clock at night. In our color settings, we're going to have 4 more export variables. First one is going to be our day color, and it's going to be the type color. It's going to be equal to 1, 1, 1, and 1. This is just going to be our bright daylight. We're going to have another, I'm actually just going to copy this 3 more times. And we'll update these as we go. We're going to have our night color, our sunset color, and our sunrise color. Okay. Our night color is going to be 0.4 across the board. I'll just try and copy this, make this a little quicker. Okay. Our sunset color is going to be 0.84, 0.58, 0.28, and then 1.0. And lastly, it's going to be 0.86, 0.70, 0.70, and then 1.0. So from the top, as I said, this is a bright daylight color. The night color is going to be a soft bluish color. The sunset color is going to be a warm orange, and the sunrise is going to be a softer pink color. Again, you can tweak these if you'd like. I just found that these work best for me. I'm also going to have a regular variable of elapsed time, which is a float. It's going to be equal to 0, and a current hour, which is a float and also equals 0.0. Now I'm going to set up the method names for the rest of our script, and then we will come back and start filling these out. So we're going to have our ready method, our process method, a method called update world color, which is not going to return anything. We're going to have a function called get time string, a method called pause cycle, resume cycle. And lastly, set time. This is actually going to take in an hour, which is a float, but it is not going to return anything. So in our ready method, first thing that we're going to be doing is setting the current hour. It's going to be equal to our starting hour. Then we're going to update the world color, and then we are going to emit our signal. So we're going to get our time change signal, we're going to emit it, we're going to give it the current hour, and we're going to get a time string. And I'm getting the error because in get time string, we actually are going to be returning a string, so now that error will go away. This will go away once we actually return something here. So if I just return this right now, there we go. In our process method, we need to constantly be updating our elapsed time. So all we're going to be doing there is just adding delta to our elapsed time. And then we need to set our current hour equal to f mod. We're going to do our starting hour plus elapsed time times 24.0, 24 hours in the day, divided by the day duration, and then 24. We're also going to be showing this visually in a label on our scene, just so we can visually see what time of day it is to make sure that the colors are matching up correctly with the hour of the day that you are expecting. And we need to update our world color, and then we need to emit our signal again on time changed. So time changed, emit, current hour, and we get the time string again. Then in update world color, we can actually be creating our color transitions depending on the time of day. So we're going to create a variable for target color. It's going to be of type color. And now we need to set this up for early morning, our morning to day, completely when it's daytime, evening, and then our late evening. We're going to do our early morning and sunrise transition. So in order to do this, we need to check if the current hour is greater than or equal to the sunrise hour, and the current hour is less than our sunrise hour plus 2. If it is, we're going to create a variable t that's going to be equal to the current hour minus the sunrise hour divided by 2. And then we can set our target color to be equal the night color, linear interpolation or lerp, on our sunrise color and t. Then we can go ahead and start creating the elif statements for the rest of these. So this is going to be now our morning to day transition, which is current hour greater than or equal to the sunrise hour plus 2, and our current hour is less than the sunrise hour plus 4. And if that's the case, we get another variable t, and it's going to be equal to the current hour minus our sunrise hour plus 2, and we divide all that by 2. And if so, you go ahead and set this target color again equal to our sunrise color dot lerp on our day color and t. Now we need to do the full daytime. So elif current hour is greater than or equal to the sunrise hour plus 4, and our current hour is less than our sunset hour minus 2. Target color is going to be equal to our day color. Now we can do the evening or our sunset transition. It's going to be elif current hour greater than or equal to our sunset hour minus 2, and our current hour is less than our sunset hour. We get a variable t. It's going to be equal to our current hour minus sunset hour minus 2. Divide this whole thing by 2, and we can set our target color again to our day color, day color dot lerp on our sunset color t. Now if we want a late evening transition, we're going to do a current hour greater than or equal to our sunset hour, and our current hour is less than our sunset hour plus 2. We create another variable t, and it's going to be the current hour minus the sunset hour divided by 2. Then we can set our target color to the sunset color, .lerp on our night color, and T. Lastly, we have an else where if it's just nighttime, we do our target color equal to our night color. And the last thing we have to do is we actually have to change the color on our canvas modulate. So we tap into our canvas modulate .color and set that equal to our target color. Now we can take care of this get time string, and this is just going to be helpful for our label to display the actual current time as we're warping through the day. So we're going to get an hour. It's going to be a floor I on the current hour. We're going to get a minute. Just a floor I on the current hour minus hour multiplied by 60. Then we need to get the AM PM, which is going to have AM if hour is less than 12, else PM. Now we need to convert this to the 12-hour format. So if hour equals 0, hour equals 12. If hour is greater than 12, hour minus equals 12. Then in our return statement, we're just going to do a little string formatting here where we do %d colon %02d space %s. And then we put another %sign, and then in here we do hour, minute, AM, PM. So that will give us a properly formatted time string, and you'll see what that looks like in the label when we're actually showing this cycle. In pause cycle, we're going to set the process to false. In resume cycle, we're just going to set process to true. And in set time, we're just going to do current hour equals hour, update the world color, and then we're going to emit our signal again. Get our current hour and the get time string. Okay, so now that that chunk is done, we have one small thing that we have to do now. We need to actually create a night level script. So we're going to be using the example scene here, but we need to actually attach a script to it. So we're going to attach a script to it. I'm just going to call this outdoor level. So this can be reused for other outdoor levels if we'd like. So let's just call this, give it a class name of outdoor level. And extend the node 2D. And we're going to need 2 onReady variables. One is going to be our day and night manager. So let's drag that into the scene here. I'm going to bring it above the tile map. And let's bring this as an onReady. And then we're also going to create a label, which we're going to call time label. And we need that as an onReady. And then we need one export variable of enable day night cycle. It's going to be a Boolean, and we're going to default this to true. We need to create our ready method, and we're going to check if we have the enabled day and night cycle. Let me set up day night cycle, which is a method we'll create in a moment. Otherwise, our day night manager visible is going to be false. And our day night manager process mode is going to be disabled. Now we need to make this method to set up the day and night cycle. And we do day night manager time changed. We connect to that signal. Then on time changed. And let's create that method now. And in here, if we have a time label, then the time label dot text is going to equal a time string. And inside of here, we have to make sure that we're passing in the hour, which is a float, and the time string which is going to be equal to a string. And in our 2D scene, we just have to make sure to pop this somewhere that we can actually see it. And now we should be able to run this and see the time cycle work. And now you can see we have a proper day and night cycle, and the colors I think look pretty good. You can obviously keep tweaking them, and you can tweak when the sunrise happens, the sunset happens, but this should give you all the things that you need to create a pretty good looking day and night cycle.